Folks, I've been thinking. It's still relatively early in the new year, and I want to go back to not necessarily my roots, but kind of what I started a good foundation of this channel on. And that is the misinformation and pseudoscience section of the internet. And today we'll be looking at the misinformation side, leaning more into the gullible conspiracy and supernatural part. I'm sure you've all seen one at some point, scrolling through TikTok or YouTube or something, and you see a random post of some grainy CCTV footage, and then you look in the comments and everybody has their opinion on what it is. It's a cryptid. Oh, that's a demon. That's whatever regional or cultural thing might be implied in a video like that. And that's not to say that I'm completely discrediting everybody out there. I did a whole Halloween series based on my love for cryptozoology, and you'll know I like the weird and interesting, but I'm examining more the side of the communities that don't question things, they just take it at face value. They'll see something weird and immediately go, that's a demon. Or they'll see something and they'll immediately go, that's a skinwalker. God, can we talk about the pandemic of everything weird and abnormal being labeled a skinwalker on TikTok? And that's what we're talking about today. Every once in a while, we'll see these videos pop up on our For You pages, and I'm no exception. A good majority of the ones that I've found are from an account called NTS, or Now That's Strange. It's essentially if somebody took the now this news format of a short form video and tried to translate it into the paranormal. So I figure, why not take a look at some of the videos on this account, see what the hell is going on, talk about some of the stuff on here that is blatantly just untrue, and take a look at some of the people that are actually commenting on these videos. Before we begin, as always, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subs as our next milestone, so every little bit helps. The first video I ever encountered from Now That's Strange was this video. The caption of the video reads, "What is this strange creature? This photo was taken at a remote house in the Highlands of Scotland. The owner claims he's being visited by strange beings." And you'd be surprised how many people are talking about this in the comments. And you'd also be surprised to find out how many people are saying this is a sheep. I know what this actually is, but before I tell you, you look at this. Tell me how in any way, shape, or form you could see a sheep. And then you also have people claiming it's a giant bat, and then of course you have the people in the comments, it's demonic. I hope you anointed your doors and windows. And I had to dig in the comments quite a bit to find anybody else who actually knew what this image was, where it originated from. This image was produced as a ARG sort of project by paleo artist TheArcWielder. At least I'm assuming that's how his name is pronounced based on, dinosaur etymology. TheArcWielder is a paleo artist who specializes in storytelling and creating kind of creepy and off-putting content. And this image originates, at least I believe, from a tweet that he put out in late September of last year, and is the first in what is looking to be a series of tweets now. He actually posted a clearer image of the mask in normal lighting, and you can see how detailed it is, down to the face, down to the ruffles around the head. So that's the origin of the image in the Now That's Strange video. And quite frankly, I didn't remember the name of the account that I had originally seen the image from. I just saw it in my For You section one day and liked it and thought, oh, that's cool. So I had to do a little bit of digging to find the original artist again, but it didn't take that long. All I had to type in was dinosaur ARG. The next video is literally just a still image of a bunch of vapor trails from planes intersecting and crossing one another with Silent Hill music in the background. and everybody's going on about chemtrails and cloud seeding and stuff in the comments. Looking at what we can infer from the environment around here, it looks like it's probably in a semi-populated area, and that's a bigger building. I wouldn't be surprised if this is near an airport or a location where there's a lot of intersecting flyover traffic. My favorite comment on the video is just, "Jets flew over." Like, thank you. Now, this next video, I'm not going to show you for privacy and decency reasons. The next video that I found, the caption is just, "Terminal mother sees angels." It depicts what is supposedly a frail older lady on her deathbed talking about how she sees angels and ghosts around her. I don't want to talk about the paranormal side of this as much as I just want to call out Now That's Strange for uploading a video of a dying woman's hallucinations that, at least to me, feels pretty gross and weird to do. If I were dying and having audio-visual hallucinations and my loved ones were recording it, I wouldn't want them to post it online, let alone for some shitty secondhand paranormal news TikTok account to repost it as proof of angels and ghosts. An odd thing that I noticed while scrolling through some of the videos on this account is they have promo videos for a podcast. Most of them were late last year that they released the promo videos for. I can't find existence of this podcast anywhere.
A new paranormal podcast has arrived. A paranormal podcast, recorded in paranormal places, talking to paranormal people. This is the NTS Experience.
It took me about 10 to 15 minutes to actually find the podcast, and that's only because in one promotional video, they actually give the name of the podcast, the NTS Experience, and advertise it being on Spotify. It's not even the first result when you look up the NTS Experience on Spotify. How do you not have your own podcast name show up as the first result? My podcast, my old shitty scripted podcast, shows up as the first result when you look it up on Spotify. How do you so poorly optimize your SEO that you're not even coming up as the first result for the thing that you created? Anyway, it's just a generic paranormal podcast with, I guess, the people that run this account are from Scotland, which makes a lot of sense given how they took Arcasuchus's story and placed it in Scotland. I don't know if Arcasuchus is Scottish, but I don't believe they are. I could be wrong about that.
There were so many bodies crammed under John Wayne Gracie's house that all the bodies fused together. It took investigators more than 2 years to put together the full skeletons.
You couldn't even spell John Wayne Gacy's name right for your single image AI text-to-speech reading video? You had one job and you couldn't even do that right.
Dinosaurs appear in 16th century oil painting.
For this one, I'm actually pretty surprised for the few comments that this video has. Most people seem to be pretty skeptical of what this video is touting. A lot of them are saying it's either camels or giraffes painted by an artist that only had a description of the animal rather than actual knowledge of what it looked like. You know, kind of like those weird medieval drawings of what an elephant looked like or what a hippopotamus looked like based on a description rather than an image. So shout out to the few people who actually commented on that video and used their brain rather than just going, "Wow, this is proof that dinosaurs existed longer than we thought."
The treadmill may seem like torture to some of us, and for good reason. You see, when it was first invented, it was invented for torture.
Could you kindly back away from the microphone before you give me a history lesson, please? I'm not an ASMR guy, so I'd prefer you to talk to me like a normal human being, but oh, we gotta whisper because we gotta make it all dark and spooky, don't we?
It's easy to make a joke of how going on the treadmill is torture, but that's because in the early days of the 19th century, it literally was. Engineer Sir William Cubitt first debuted the treadwheel for prisoners in 1818. Inmates would be obligated to step up on the giant contraption, walking for hours on end.
While he's not wholly wrong, it is misleading. Yes, the treadwheel was used as a form of punishment for prisoners, as he said. However, the treadmill as we know it today is a completely different contraption invented by a completely different person, that being William Staub. Of course, this was partially based on the whole concept of the original treadwheel, but it wasn't designed to be, a conversion of a torture experience into a neat little at-home package for your own torture room. It was designed to be, as Staub put it, a training machine. It was supposed to help with exercise. Some of the original prototypes of the treadmill were designed specifically to diagnose lung and heart diseases based on examinations that people could perform while people were running and walking on the treadmill. And we still do stress tests similar to that to this day because it's a very effective method for seeing how your body is reacting in a high stress environment. Along with that, obviously, modern day treadmills are motor driven. We don't power them by ourselves. We're not using the kinetic energy and push from our feet to move the belt. There's a motor inside moving it. So don't liken somebody's hatred of a treadmill and compare that to traumatic history, please.
This is footage from a child monitor placed in the child's room. What it captures is quite strange. I'll let you decide whether you think it's real or not. Do you think this is real poltergeist activity?
God, at the very least, when it comes to debunking pseudoscience and stuff like that, it's fun to see their leaps in logic. But with things like this, it's just irritating. The door more than likely closed after she left the room, because the door she exited the room from was left open, and there was probably some sort of air pressure differential that caused the other door to begin to close. We don't see it fully latch shut at the end of the video, so more than likely, it's still slightly ajar. I don't know why there's something different about this, but it just is. I think it's because for more paranormal stuff, you'd expect people to be at least slightly more rational. But then again, when it comes to conspiracies as a whole, there's not a lot of rational people out there. So the fool was me all along. So now I've just run into what seems to be a string of like 20 to 30 back-to-back 911 calls, and most of the stuff after that is true crime text-to-speech videos, those single image or slideshow videos. This channel seems like it started out as a true crime and then leaned more into the paranormal side of things, which isn't an irregular pipeline. It's kind of weird to see how much content they pushed out before pivoting. Of course, this is all my opinion. You could believe that all of it's true and authentic for all I care. I just want to say, use your brain rationally. When you see that video claiming that they caught the rake on CCTV footage and it's just some blob running through the middle of a gas station, stop to think to yourself, is that really a paranormal being? Or is that just some guy running really fast and the footage couldn't keep up with him? That's going to do it for this video, folks. Thanks again for putting up with me through this video. If starting off the new year with the flu wasn't enough, I was sick the past 2 weeks with COVID too, so I'm still getting back into my groove, so I apologize if I wasn't completely on my game today. But like I said, thanks for your support, and I really want to get back into covering more stuff like this as well. I have the old Wheel of Misinformation sitting in the corner of my office still, just waiting to be dusted off and used again. So please let me know if you want more stuff like this on more specific topics in the future. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any accounts like this or any particular videos or conspiracies or anything that you want me to take a look at, or any funny TV, movies, YouTube channels, anything that you think is weird and interesting that you also want me to look at. A big thank you to all the $5 Patreon patrons. If you want to become a member, click the link in the description down below and you can get access to exclusive monthly polls to better pick out what content I cover here in the future. As always, thanks y'all for supporting and sticking around, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. See ya.